Good people, back at it again. Welcome to Mose Knows. I'm your man Mose. Woo! One of my favorite times of the year. I get so excited and I anticipate it so much, and then it's here and then it's gone just like that. 2022 NFL Scouting Combine has came and went, and man, we saw some great performances from the prospects in the 2022 NFL Draft. Some really good performances. We had some blazing times. We had some good footwork and agility, and uh, we saw the drills, and some guys did really well. Some guys struggled a little bit. We're going to take a couple minutes, just go over some of my thoughts from the combine, see who did well and whose stock rose, see whose stock fell based off the combine. Now, anybody whose stock has risen, it can fall. We can get stories about off-field behavior. We can get an injury during training. Knock on wood, I don't want that to happen to any of the prospects, but that could very well happen, right? So if your stock is up, it could go down. If your stock is down, it could go up. A lot of my stock down is going to be simply because there were players that performed at the combine and put some good film on tape. And there were some players who didn't, whether it be for injury or other reason. So if you didn't get a chance to perform and show what you got and somebody else did, well, maybe that might, bump them ahead of you until your pro day. So we'll take a look at that. We'll see what's going on in that realm. Let's just jump right in. We're going to start with the quarterbacks. I got the first guy queued up here. I feel like Desmond Ridder of the quarterbacks definitely allowed his stock to rise. Not only did he have a good season playing football, and he put that on tape, but he comes to the combine, and we knew he was fast, so he runs a 4.52. So that means he's going to be able to escape the pocket if he needs to, whether that's running for a first down or whether that's just moving his spot, buying some more time, and being able to hit a receiver downfield. The explosiveness is there. We got a 36-inch vertical jump, along with a 10-foot 7-inch broad jump. You see the numbers in the 3-cone and the 20-yard shuttle. Very agile, very mobile. He's able to move. Comes in at 6'3", 211 pounds, 32 3/4 inch arms and 10-inch hands. We heard the issues with a particular quarterback's hands. Um, uh, and he's going to be one of my quarterbacks that his stock is down a little bit. Let's just go to the next guy whose stock is up, in my opinion. And that's going to be E.J. Perry from Brown. 6'2", 211, 32-inch arms, 9-inch hands. Similar to one of the guys who has a stock down. But if you're looking at E.J. Perry and you're looking at his athleticism, he ran a 4.6 40-yard dash, 34.5-inch vertical jump, 10.3 inch, 10-foot 3-inch broad jump. And you look at his 3-cone and short shuttle numbers, which are faster than that of Desmond Ridder. So his 3-cone is faster, and his 20-yard shuttle, both are faster. A lot of comps on this guy. He looks like a bigger Taysom Hill. So teams looking at E.J. Perry in the later rounds could be looking to get him involved in that Taysom Hill-like package where he has the ability to throw the ball. So that kind of throws you off because you don't know what's coming, but he has the speed and he has the elusiveness and he has the competitive nature to where if you need him to carry the ball 4 or 5 times from the quarterback position and design quarterback runs, he can be able to get that done for you. So I feel like he helped himself. He did spin the ball a little bit well at the combine. You can see where he needs to improve as a passer. He is not the most accurate. He doesn't have the strongest arm. Neither is Taysom Hill. We saw that this year when Jameis Winston went down and he became the full-time starter. It was an experiment that most people who watch football knew was not going to be a successful experiment. Taysom Hill is not a number one quarterback in this league. Can he be a backup and come in for an injury for a game or two? Absolutely. Can you use him in gadget plays and design quarterback runs and he be effective? Absolutely. And I think that's the role that we can see E.J. Perry playing in the league earlier. And then maybe he develops into something a little bit better than that, but we'll have to see. Moving on to the running backs, let's go to my man Pierre Strong. He came in from South Dakota State University, 5'11", 207, 31 and 7/8 inch arms and 9 and a quarter inch hands, ran a 4.37. You want to talk about a kid being explosive? Pierre Strong was explosive. 36-inch vertical jump, 10'4" broad jump. He didn't compete in any of the other drills, but he ran really well. And then in the drills, you saw good footwork, you saw good speed, and you saw burst. You saw him being able to shift gears. So getting through the traffic, getting through the drills, and then coming out of the drills. Once you get through, that hole, once you get to that second level, can you turn on the jets and get going? And Pierre Strong was out there getting going. I did a player comp on him. A shout out to my Nitty Gritty Niners fam. My player comp for Pierre Strong, when I watch his tape and you just look at and see how he runs, he kind of runs a little similarly to Tevin Coleman, former Atlanta Falcon, 49er, and current New York Jet running back, Tevin Coleman. He kind of really reminded me, Pierre Strong reminded me of Tevin Coleman a lot. So he has that speed, he has that burst. He's not a small back. So I think he can do a lot of good things in the league with his speed. A stat that Daniel Jeremiah mentioned during the combine, and I hope I'm not getting this incorrect. I believe he said that Pierre Strong this past season, and whether it was, I think it was this past season, but whether it was this past season or for his career at South Dakota State, had 57 plays of 15 yards or more. That right there speaks for itself at how explosive this kid is. Get him in the right offensive scheme. Get him with a Kyle Shanahan. I'm pounding the table for that. Get him with a Sean McVay. Get him with an Andy Reid. Get him with one of those guys like that. He could be special. Another running back, Kenny Walker the third. My player account for him when I was watching tape is he looks like J.K. Dobbins. He's a little bit faster than J.K. Dobbins. He ran a 4.38, 34-inch vertical jump, 10-foot 2-inch broad jump. Kenny Walker was a dynamite player at Michigan State. He was the primary back there. He did everything. He could run out of the backfield, in between the tackles, outside of the tackles. He could catch the ball out of the backfield. Kenny Walker was amazing. He came to the combine and proved that he has the speed, he has the explosiveness to be an effective running back in this league. And with the way the league is working and how it functions now, running backs have to do more than just run the ball. They have to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. You have to be able to catch defenses off guard with running back screens and catching the ball, you know, in that short to intermediate window for your quarterback. If the receiver routes are covered really, really well, or your pass protection breaks down and you need to get the ball away quick. So him being able to catch the ball, he caught the ball very well at the combine. He showed that he's very, very, fluid when it comes to catching the football, turning it upfield. So I think Kenny Walker is going to be a great addition to whatever offense he goes to. Now, a few names, running backs that I felt like their stock is down. First, Kyron Williams of Notre Dame. When you look at the running back class this year and the speeds that they ran, Kenny Walker at 5'9", 211 runs a 4.38. Pierre Strong at 5'11", 207 runs a 4.37. Isaiah Pacheco from Rutgers at 5'10", 216 runs a 4.37. Devontae Price from Florida International, 6'1", 210, ran a 4.38. You got guys, Zamir White from Georgia running a 4.4 flat. James Cook running a 4.42. Breece Hall at 5'11", 217 running a 4.39. These guys were out here moving. And Kyron Williams came in at 5'9", 194, and he ran a 4.65. Only a 9'8" broad jump and a 32-inch vertical. So that shows his lack of explosion. And he may be a solid back at the next level. But when you talk about running backs who are explosive, who can change gears. Look at the league now. When healthy, Christian McCaffrey is one of those backs who, once he gets through that muck in the trenches, once he gets to that next level, he can make a guy miss and he's gone. Look at Jonathan Taylor from Indy. He can make a guy miss once he gets to that second level and he's gone. When healthy, Raheem Mostert from the 49ers, speed for days. When you get your running backs the ball and get them out in space, or the blocking is good to get them through the trenches and get them to that next level, can he make a guy miss and can he take it to the house? And unfortunately, during the combine, there were other guys who proved that they have that speed and explosiveness to do that. And Kyron Williams did not live up to the bill, running that 4.65 and also not being explosive in any of the other drills. Same thing goes to Jerrion Ealy, another small back, 5'8", 198. You would tend to think that the smaller backs, the lighter backs, would be faster, but he ran a 4.52, which isn't as bad as a 4.65. But for somebody as small as he is, to only run a 4.52, I think that can cause a bit of an issue. Now, he did show explosion in the other events. He had a 10'8" broad jump. So there is some explosion there. And I think, as opposed to Kyron Williams, maybe Jerrion Ealy from Ole Miss, he's probably in game fast. He's probably faster come game time than he is testing. So I give him a little bit of leeway there. But I do think that his stock is down with just some of these other guys. Again, Isaiah Pacheco, Pierre Strong, Ty Chandler, Devontae Price. And Devontae Price is a big, but he's 6'1", 210 and ran a 4.3. So some of these other maybe names who were not as known came in and they showed out. And again, this is where you show out. You come to the NFL scouting combine, you put your athleticism on tape for the scouts and the coaches and the GMs to see. And I think, because of the performance of some other guys, those guys take a slight step backwards. Moving to the wide receivers, I'm going through all my different screens. I got my notes. I got what I'm displaying to y'all, and then I'm trying to look at y'all too and maintain eye contact. Just bear with a brother for a minute. Moving on to the wide receivers, I feel like Christian Watson completely elevated his stock. At 6'4", 208, he runs a 4.36. Now, unofficial, it was like a 4.28. Now, if they would have stayed with that 4.28, I'd have been like, goodness gracious, but they dumbed it down to a 4.36. But even still, at 6'4", 208 to run a 4.36, look at the explosion. 38.5-inch vertical jump. Also, broad jump of 11 feet, 4 inches. What? This kid he's a big body receiver that a lot of teams are going to covet. He has the speed to take advantage of the deep ball. So if you got a quarterback with a strong arm, you're going to want this kid. He attacks the ball at the highest point. He also is a little bit flexible. If you put on his tape from North Dakota State, he was taking jet sweeps and running bubble screens and getting the ball in his hands. He is a playmaker. He's not just a big body red zone threat. He's a playmaker. You get the ball in his hands, he can make something happen. So he elevated his stock tremendously. He has the build, he has the speed and explosion. I think teams are going to covet the size, covet the speed, and I think he's going to get integrated into somebody's offense right away. Another big body wide receiver who did himself nothing but favors, Isaiah Weston from Northern Iowa. Again, another big body wide receiver. They got him listed at 6'3.5", 6'4", 214, runs a 4.42. Not only is he fast, but he's strong. He bench pressed 225 20 times, 40-inch vertical jump. So he could probably dunk. He got the 40-inch vert, so he getting up. And in a broad jump of 11.3. 11 foot, 3-inch broad jump. Did himself nothing but favors. I think my comp for him was Kenny Galladay / Tim Patrick from the Denver Broncos. Just talked about Tim Patrick in my last video briefly. Now Tim Patrick has got a quarterback. Now Denver has a quarterback who's going to get all of those guys involved, including Tim Patrick, Jerry Judy, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, Isaiah Weston did himself nothing but favors. Put on the tape. He's explosive. Great run after the catch. He attacked the ball at the highest point. Still some things in his game that he needs to work on. I feel like the route tree is the main area. I feel like he can get better with his route running and add more routes to his game. But again, teams are going to covet the size. They're going to covet the speed. They're going to utilize him on third downs, utilize him in the red zone. So I think this is a great spot for him. If I had to pick one receiver who I would say stock down, you're probably going to have to go with Treylon Burks. I don't want to kill him too much. He is one of the bigger wide receivers, coming in at 6'2", about 220, 222. He did run a 4.45, so he wasn't as fast as as anticipated. When you put on the tape, he's running by guys. And same thing as Christian Watson. He's not just a downfield receiver threat. Give him the ball in out of the backfield. Give him the ball running jet sweeps. Give him the ball running bubble screens. He's a playmaker. But they compared him to Deebo Samuel. They say he could be the next Deebo Samuel with what he's able to do, not only with the ball in his hands, but with his size, a player that looks for contact. So coming in, only running a 4.55, only having a 33-inch vertical, only having a 10-foot 2-inch broad jump, there was a lack of explosion. Again, you can say that the lack of explosion in testing doesn't match the lack of explosion on the football field, and you would not be wrong. You wouldn't say that his football tape and what he's able to do on the field is not explosive, because it is, but he just didn't test that way. And in the minds of some of these coaches, in the minds of some of these scouts and GMs, and some of the analytics people that they have on the back end, when the testing doesn't match the film, that causes a problem in some people's minds. Some people are in those seats, they're football guys. So yeah, they may not test well, but what does he do on the football field? Is he good on the football field? When he has on cleats, when he has on pads, when he has on the helmet, is he a good player? And does he do it consistently? And more often than not, people will say, yes, Treylon Burks is consistent on the football field. But again, this is the Underwear Olympics. So who shines during the Underwear Olympics, their stock is always going to rise. So I don't think Treylon Burks' stock fell that much. But, with what Chris Olave did, with what Garrett Wilson did, we still got to wait to see Jamison Williams, John Mechie, and Drake London. He very well could have slipped a little bit. Tight end, I only have one guy. I don't have many tight ends who I feel like their stock is down, but I do have one guy stock is up. That's Chigakonkwo. 6'2.5", call it 6'3", 240 pounds, runs a 4.52. Only other event that he did was the vertical jump, where he's 35.5 inches. If you watch Chig in the drills, he looks very smooth. He looks very fluid. Yes, can he improve in his route running? Absolutely. I think he'll probably also need to improve as a blocker from the tight end perspective. But I think as a young tight end, you don't want to give him too much too fast. And I think you want to use him where he is strong. And he is an athletic tight end who can get you yards in the passing game. I feel like if he goes to, I don't want to say a tight end heavy offense, but an offense that really, really utilizes the tight end to open things up in the run game, to open things up for the wide receivers. I think Chig Okonkwo could be that guy because of his speed, because of his athleticism. He's smooth catching the ball. He's not afraid to catch the ball. You saw it in the gauntlet drill and the other drills that he ran. I think somebody is going to get a diamond in the rough with Chig Okonkwo if they're able to draft him. Again, not too many tight ends performed here at the combine. I think everybody performed around where they were expected. A couple of guys who didn't perform, we're waiting to see Jalen Watermeyer from Texas A&M. He's probably going to perform at his pro day. So you can say maybe his stock is down because he didn't get a chance to perform. Isaiah likely didn't do the 40. All he did was the vert. Trey McBride did broad, vert, and bench, but he did not do the 40. So we're still waiting for those numbers, probably coming from Pro Day. So we don't want to be too hard on the guys there. I think I got a sneeze coming. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. All right, get that out of there. All right, on to the offensive linemen. Got a few tackles, maybe a guard or two. I like this kid, Bernard Raymond, 6'6", 303 pounds. He ran a 5.05, put up 225 30 times, vertical jump of 30 and a half, broad jump of 117 in feet and inches. That is 9.9. And then you see what he did in the 3-cone and the 20-yard shuttle. That's not bad times for a dude who's 6'6". And then if you just take a look at underneath, just look at him going through the drills. Little stumble going back, but he's fluid side to side, shuffling his feet, staying on his toes, getting out of there. He had a pretty solid Senior Bowl week as well. I think his stock rose. Was he going to be a first-round pick? No. Could he creep into that second round, maybe third round? Absolutely. He has the size, he has the speed, he has the strength, he has the movement skills. Watch him in this drill here. Get him out of there. Kick slide, turn and go. I mean, listen. Watched him at the Senior Bowl, played pretty well, comes to the combine, does all the drills. And listen, that's one of the things that I appreciate the most too. Because a lot of guys go to the combine, and we've seen it in all the position groups where some guys will do some drills and some guys won't. They may do the 40, but they don't do anything else. They may bench and do the broad and the vert, but they don't do the 40. I appreciate guys who come to the combine and they do everything. I know if it was me in that position, unless I'm injured, I'm doing everything. I'm running my 40 twice. I'm doing the broad. I'm doing the vert. I'm doing the 3-cone. I'm doing the short shuttle. I'm doing every single drill. I'm putting everything I possibly can on tape. And that's even if I know I'm a top guy. Even if I know I'm going round one. Even if I know I'm going top 20, top 15, top 10, top 5. Even if I feel like I'm the number one overall pick, I'm going to the combine and I'm doing everything. I'm doing everything. I know sometimes, agents, they go against it, like just do A, B, C, and D. I know for some of the other players, like a Bernard Raymond, who's trying to increase his draft stock, who's trying to make sure teams take a look at him, it may be more imperative for somebody like him to come and do all the drills. But man, I really, really appreciate when guys go to the combine and do every single drill that they have, do every single event that they have. That shows me that they want it. And when you can put up a performance like this, like Bernard Raymond have, that is just another benefit. That's a plus, and that's why his stock is going up. Moving on, Trevor Penny. What? So not only did he have an outstanding Senior Bowl where he was, you know how they had excuse me, back in high school, what do they call them? Like superlatives, like most likely to do this or most likely to do that, or they had like best dressed, class clown, most creative. The meanest would have went to Trevor Penny after that Senior Bowl. When you talk about mean, when you talk about nasty streak, bro, after every drill, Trevor Penning had somebody on the floor. Dudes was swinging at him, pushing him after the play. Like, they was hot with Trevor Penning. So you follow that up with this performance. Trevor Penning at 6'7", 325 ran a 4.89. That's not just a sub 5. That's a sub 4.9 for somebody who's 6'7", 325. Yo, it should be a crime for dudes that big to move. And we're going to get to another one. It should be a crime for a dude that big to move that fast. I'm a big dude and I move fast. And I used to move fast. I'm not as fast as I used to be. But I'm not that big. I'm not 6'7", 325. I'm 6'1". I'm not gonna tell y'all what my weight is. Y'all don't need to know that. Mind your business. But you mean, like, come on. 4'8" in the 40, 28-inch vertical. What was his feet, the inches? I don't have his numbers here. What was I doing? No, stop it. Decline. Why are you ringing? I thought I had his numbers in my spreadsheet. Oh, yes, I do. Right here. 9'3". That 111. 9'3". 7.25 second three cone, 4.62 second 20-yard shuttle. So he matched what was on tape at the Senior Bowl with the athleticism. And again, that's what these coaches and GMs want to see. What did you put on tape on the field? Does the athleticism in testing match that? And he matched it. He's athletic, he's explosive, and he has that mean streak. I think before this, there was no talk of Trevor Penning going in the first 2 rounds. Trevor Penning might be a first-round pick. After what he did at the Senior Bowl, after what he did at the Combine, Trevor Penning will likely be the 4th tackle off the board. Evan Neal, Ike Ekwonu, Charles Cross, Trevor Penning. And I think it'll be that order. If it changes, maybe Ike Ekwonu over Evan Neal. But those will be the first 4 tackles off the board. Neal, Ekwonu, Cross, Penning. Moving on to the interior. Zion Williamson, Boston College. He showed on tape that he can do a little bit of everything. At Boston College, played a little bit of center, played both left and right guard, played both left and right tackle. At the Senior Bowl, played center, played left and right guard, played left and right tackle. He moved everywhere. Now, likely he's going to kick inside to guard, but he's going to be an athletic guard. So he's got the 5'18", 40-yard dash. Again, another guy who went to the Combine. And I think maybe Zion Williamson, more than Bernard Raymond, didn't need to perform and didn't do all of the drill. But he's got a 32 reps on the 225 bench press, a 32-inch vertical. We got a broad jump of 9 feet 4 inches, 7.38 second three cone, 4.4 second 20-yard shuttle, 6'3", 312 yards. He has the versatility that you look for on the offensive line. So even if you draft him and he's not ready to start, which I don't agree with, I think if you draft him, Zion will be ready to start day one. He has the versatility. If somebody goes down and you need to plug him in at center, at right tackle, at right guard, at left guard, I think he can play all positions across the offensive line, and that's what is going to make him a hot commodity. If he doesn't go late first round, he's going early second round, and he definitely improved his stock with this combine, showing that he has the explosiveness, showing that he has the agility to match that versatility along the offensive line. Great weekend for Zion. Moving over to the defensive side of the ball, and then we're going to get out y'all way. Stock up, defensive end, edge rushers, Trayvon Walker. I mean, we can just say it right now. This was the Georgia Combine. Like, this was Georgia's pro day. I'm sure these dudes will probably do something at the real Georgia pro day, but this turned out to be a Georgia pro day. Like, all these guys went insane. 6'5", 272 pounds. He ran a 4.51. Vertical jump of 35 and a half inches. Broad jump of 10 feet, 3 inches. 3 cone, sub 6'9". 20-yard shuttle, sub 4.4. Bro, at 6'5", 272, his stock is up, and I feel like he solidified himself as a top 5. As a top 5 pass rusher. I don't think I'll go top 3. That might be a little bit too rich, but he's definitely top 5. And I feel like he leaped at least one guy. And I'm struggling to figure out why he did everything but the 40. And that's George Karlaftis. He didn't do a 3-cone and he didn't do a 40-yard dash. He did the bench press, 20. He was explosive in the drills. If you look at Trayvon, his 20-yard shuttle was a 4.32, right? Karlaftis was a 4.36. 0.4 of a second. You look at Trayvon, what was his broad jump? 10.3. Karlaftis, 10.1. Trayvon vertical was 35 and a half. Karlaftis was 38. So he's got some explosion. Now, I'm not saying he would have ran a 4.5 like Trayvon Walker, but at least put some on tape. You got all the top edge rushers running 40s. Kayvon Thibodeau, 4.58. Aiden Hutchinson, 4.74. David Ojabo, 4.55. Majai Sanders, 4.67. Trayvon Walker, 4.51. Jermaine Johnson, 4.58. Even Tyreek Smith ran a 4.86. Put some on tape. Isaiah Thomas from Oklahoma ran a 4.7 flat. Boye Mafe ran a 4.53. Put some on tape, George. You did mostly all the other drills. Put some on tape. And I mean, it's called an edge rusher. Another, what they call it, speed rusher. Now, is a speed rusher ever going to run 40 yards to get to a quarterback? No. But if he would have ran a 40, we can kind of see what that straight line speed is. And we would have been able to see what the 10-yard split is. I got to fill out the rest of my spreadsheet with these 10-yard splits. But he didn't run. He didn't run. Same thing for Drake Jackson out of USC. He didn't run a 40. He did the broad jump. He got a 7. 10 foot 7 inch. He did the vertical and got 36 and a half. Why y'all not running? Everybody else running in this group. Why y'all not running? I mean, 40 ain't everything, but I needed to see y'all run. And what Sam Williams did, Boye Mafe, Amari Barno running a 4.36. He's the outlier, of course. But you got Ojabo running a 4.55, Walker running a 4.51, Jermaine Johnson running a 4.58, Kayvon Thibodeau running a 4.58. Teams are going to look at these measurables. Karlaftis has great tape, but so does Trayvon Walker. So when you're looking at draft position and who goes first, again, what did I say? What position did I say? Who's going to be the top 4? The tackles. So we know it's going to be Evan Neal, Ike Ekwonu, Charles Cross, and Trevor Penny. At least the first 4 off the board. With the pass rushers, at one point, it was Kayvon Thibodeau, Aiden Hutchinson, George Karlaftis, David Ojabo. Those are going to be the top 4 off the board. Well, maybe Karlaftis drops out of that and Trayvon Walker's name gets inserted. But if that happens, I think if Trayvon Walker stock gets elevated, so will Jermaine Johnson. And that takes Karlaftis maybe the 4th pass rusher on the board to the 7th. You got Hutchinson and Thibodeau 1, 2. Ojabo 3. Walker 4. Jermaine Johnson 5. That takes Karlaftis to 6. You drop 2 spots because these guys came to the combine and they performed really well. So, I mean, with everything that you did do, I would have loved to see it. I would have loved to see you run and compete against the other guys in your class, fighting, to be the top pass rusher off the board. So I would have liked to see that from Karlaftis. So again, that's why my stock is down for him. What I've seen from Jermaine Johnson, especially what Jermaine Johnson put on film at the Senior Bowl prior to getting injured. Listen, and don't get me started on Boye Mafe and Nick Benito. Karlaftis may only be saved by his tape. Talk about another big man moving. I don't even need to talk about the defensive tackles that much. Again, this was a Georgia pro day at the combine. 6'6", 340 run. He ran a 4.78. I think Jordan Davis solidified himself as the best defensive tackle in this class, and he's probably going to be the first defensive tackle on the board. My stock down is DeMarvin Leal. He was looked at as number one, but for somebody who's smaller, much smaller, like he's not even 300 pounds. He's not even 300 pounds. Jordan Davis has 60 pounds on DeMarvin Leal, and he ran a 5 flat. Vertical wasn't impressive. Broad jump wasn't impressive. Not when you compare. I mean, the vertical, yeah, not when you compare it to Jordan Davis, who had a vertical jump of 32 and a broad jump of 10.3. And DeMarvin Leal has a vertical jump of 27.5 and a broad jump of 8.10. Uh-uh. 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 DeMarvin Leal has relinquished his spot at number one for the simple fact that Jordan Davis and Devontae Wyatt showed out at the combine. So he may be the number two. Devontae Wyatt may not get taken over DeMarvin Leal, but Jordan Davis most certainly will. He's going to be the first defensive tackle off the board. All right, moving to linebackers. Again, Georgia Pro Day. Shout out to my bro Weezy because he's like, yo, who is this Channing Tyndall guy? Like he went to Georgia and I don't even know if we ever seen him. Maybe he was buried on the depth chart, or maybe other guys were just making plays and we just didn't see his impact. 6'2", 230, runs a 4.47, vertical jump out the door, 42, broad jump of 10.9. Man, absolutely explosive athlete. And he was probably hidden and buried in that Georgia defense because they just have stars everywhere. Trayvon Walker, Nakobe Dean, Devontae Wyatt, Jordan Davis, the players that they have in the secondary. Like he was just probably buried just under so much immense talent at Georgia. But I feel like he has all of the physical tools to be a solid linebacker in this league. Comes from good pedigree at Georgia. So I think he'll be fine. His stock is definitely up. Christian Harris, Alabama. We know he's got the pedigree. We know for sure he's got the pedigree. And he only came to the combine to run a 4.44, vert of 34 and a half, broad jump of, I want the feet and inches, broad jump of 11 feet even. We know he's explosive. We know he's sideline to sideline. But sometimes a lot of the Bama linebackers, they don't test the same way they play. We know they play faster because they're built that way. Their mentality is to play fast because of how they're taught, how they're trained under Nick Saban. But he tested the way he plays, sideline to sideline. You know he's fast. You know he's going to get to the ball. So I think his stock is elevated as well. He may not leap Nakobe Dean, but he might be right there with maybe the second linebacker off the board. It's probably going to go to Devin Lloyd, but Christian Harris is going to be in the conversation most certainly. Let's get to the second, and we're going to get going. Sauce Gardner. I feel like he solidified himself as the number one corner. Yes, there's talk about Derek Stingley Jr. He's got the Liz Frank injury. He didn't participate. Andrew Booth Jr. from Clemson. I think he also had an injury, didn't participate at the combine. We'll wait to see those guys at their pro days. Sauce Gardner, only thing he did was come run the 40 and do the on-field drills. But he ran a 4.41 at 6'3", 190 pounds. So you know he's got the speed, he's got the length in height and in reach, and he's got the production on the field. I think Sauce Gardner solidified himself as the number one corner on the board. I think it's been leaning towards that the past couple of weeks with his performance at the combine. That solidified him being the first corner off the board. And then another corner. Listen, we almost had the 40 record broken twice. Now, wide receiver Alvin Austin III, unofficial, was 4.21. And then there was a corner from Baylor that ran a 4.23, Kalen Barnes. But Tariq Rowland, also one of the fastest corners at the combine this year, runs a 4.26. Followed that up with a 42-inch vertical jump at 6'4", 205 pounds. What? 6'4", 205, running a 4.26. Daniel Jeremiah said it a lot during the combine, but he said some of these guys in the wide receiver group who may not be the best pass catchers need to flip, or even if they are good pass catchers, they need to flip sides and come to the defensive side of the ball because there are not enough guys with this type of speed to cover all the receivers in the league. Insert Tariq Woolen at 6'4", 205. So he can, if you need him to guard Tyreek Hill, he can because he's got 4.26 speed. If you need him to guard a big wide receiver, he can because he's 6'4", 205. Like, bro, is this dude a created player? 6'4", 205 running a 4.26 with a 42-inch vertical jump. Now, obviously, there's things he needs to clean up as a corner, improving his press, improving his man coverage ability. He needs to improve, footwork, turning and running, things of that nature. But he's got the measurables. And again, that's a lot of what these coaches and these GMs look for. Do you have the measurables? Do you have the tools for me to work with and mold you into a great player? Tariq Woolen has them tools. Yeah. And then safety, not that many safeties. Not too many guys that, lost their draft status or their stock went down. A couple of guys who didn't perform. But it's all good. A guy who improved his stock was JT Woods, coming in at 6'2", 195. He ran a 4.36, had a near 40-inch vertical, a 10-foot 8-inch broad jump. Again, measurables match what you saw on tape. This guy is a ball hawking safety, had 6 interceptions last season, including 2 in the Big 12 championship game against Ole Miss. This guy is going to be a solid addition to anybody's defense. He has the speed to play. If you needed him to play middle 50 and just cover anything back there, he's got the speed to do it. So I look forward to seeing some good things. A.T. Woods coming to the NFL. And that's going to wrap it up, man. Those are all my stock ups. Some of my stock down players. We can turn this off and get that out of here and just be me up here. That's it. That's going to wrap it up for my combine overview, my stock up, my stock down. A lot of players did a lot of good things to help themselves. And then we'll see if they need to, add additional things on film for their upcoming combine. Tap in with me on Instagram, what.mose.knows. I'll be putting out the combine schedule. So all of the major schools with major players in this upcoming 2022 NFL draft. When will their pro days be? What players are we looking for to perform at those pro days? Tap in with me on Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning in with me over here on YouTube. Love and appreciate your time and attention, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.